Hey, what's up everyone? It's Duskmos, and today I'm really excited to be sharing with you the analog heat plus effects. Let's check it out. So today in the Signal Colors primer video, I'm taking a look at the analog heat plus effects from Elektron. And as you know, if you watch my channel, I'm a huge fan of what Elektron puts out, and the analog heat is absolutely no exception. And I definitely mean what I say because I have had all three generations of the analog heat. The first one with its really narrow orange display that I absolutely just did not like at all. The display, the unit was great. You can still get those at a really good price point. So if you just go for the sound and you don't care about the display, I absolutely recommend picking one of those up. Then the second gen, it added the OLED display and that sort of like yellowy green color that was in all of the, like the Digiline. And that alone was a big improvement. And then this version comes in with the plus effects. So you get all the extra effects added in and the sort of bluish white display. And it keeps all the classic winning elements of the originals and just adds on top of them. I'm going to keep the explaining a little bit light here today because I'm going to do an in-depth version of this, but this is just going to be a quick overview, like my primer videos are supposed to be. And instead of going through and explaining everything that's going on here, I'm just going to start my pattern and then talk through it as we go. So as always, I like to start with my clean sound, which is coming from the Analog 4 Mark II, also from Elektron. And it's just going in stereo into the analog heat plus effects. Out of that into the TX6 from Change Engineering and then out into the camera. So my clean pattern sounds like this. Turn it up a bit. It will be boosted once I activate the heat. Right now it's bypassed. But that's what we're working with. Gonna bring that down now and activate the heat on saturation mode. So you can see my mix here, I've got it fully wet. I can bring in some of the dry. Back down the drive if I want. Just find that nice blend between saturated and clean. So let that roll for a second. Right now it's literally just on the heat. There's no other effects going on, but you've got an always on EQ, and then there's also a filter. So the EQ you can cut or boost, either low frequency or high frequency. So I actually kind of like this with the highs boost a little bit here. Back down the level a little bit. So I'm going to switch it into enhance mode. Which sounds nice. Makes it a little bit more on the wet side. Now mid drive. Definitely a bit crunchier, but you can blend in more of the dry. Okay, rough crunch next. Definitely more of like a fuzz sound. Classic distortion. Again, you can play with that balance between dry and wet. Round fuzz. super high gain. And then back around to clean boost. I like to keep it on saturation mode. It's kind of my go-to. Okay, so now you might be asking, cool, there's the analog heat stuff, but where's the plus effects stuff? Well, you go into FX, and you can see you have a whole different menu system for the different effects. And up at the top, it tells you which one you're in, but also tells you that it's bypass. So you've got bits, compression, bass focus, chorus, 2 pages of delay, 2 pages of reverb, 2 pages of like a tape effect warble, and back to the front again. So you can visualize this whole layout, if you will, by going to flow. And then flow, you can see them all: bits, heat, compressor, bass, chorus, delay, reverb, warble. And you can see which ones are active and which ones aren't. So right now, actually, I had warble engaged, but it was really subtle, so it wasn't doing that much in this setting. But you can go through and turn on and off, and you can also rearrange, which is really cool. So if you want compression to come at the very end, you click in, and you get those little arrows, and you can move it to the very end of the chain. I don't know, I'm gonna put it back where it was, but right there you can see that even though I moved it around, whatever, I can do that. Again, we'll put it at the end. It's still turned off. You can turn it on, you can turn it off. Really cool, really quick navigation once you get used to it. Yeah, it's a very intuitive system. And if you highlight one that you want to modify, we'll go into the bit crusher. You have it highlighted and you just hit yes. And then you're in that menu. So let's activate it and hear what it sounds like. You've got these knobs that control these 4 values at the bottom. So this first one is sample rate reduction. Which is really cool. It's got its own mix as well. You have it just kind of subtle in there. You've got bit rate. You can completely smash. Which is really cool. And a filter as well. In addition, you've got the filter down here too, which you can engage or bypass by pressing both of these. With frequency and resonance control. And it's cool because you can just drop in and out of it. So if you want to just like punch in, you can do that. Like a performance effect. Very cool. Okay, say I've had enough of the bit crush. Yes, no over here at the same time. Just bypasses it. Again, you can go to that flow screen and see that it's bypassed or re-engaged from there. This next one is bass focus, which won't do much for us here, but it works in the context of like using this sort of like an end of chain mastering sort of thing. It basically, we'll go into it. It allows you to find, well, basically remove stereo spread from bass. So you can here move it to mono, and then you have controls over the frequency where that happens, and a low pass and a high pass, which is more of a fine tuning thing. Really cool that it's there, but in this demo, not something that we're going to make much use of. So we'll bypass that, go back to flow. I'm already in it, obviously. Now you can go to the chorus, engage it, bypass it, yes to go into it. So you see our controls, depth, speed, width, and our mix. Which sounds really nice. Bypass it. Bypassed. It's really picking up on the bass a bit. So we can go back to the flow. And so you can see the next one in line here is delay. But another navigation thing, say we're in this one, if you just turn the knob, you're in delay here too. So you can jump to the next effect either way you want, which is really cool. I'm gonna dial this back a little bit. We'll leave it on. Okay, delay mode, we'll go ahead and activate that. So you've got time, ping pong, width, and feedback. A nice little display that kind of tells you what's going on up here. Turn on ping pong. Time works. Got stereo width for the ping pong. Wearing headphones, you really hear it. Good times. Get up the feedback. And that's cool. So I'm actually gonna go back now into the bass focus, and that'll kind of rein in, at least it should rein in the bass frequencies from hopping back and forth. I don't know. That's for tweaking, fine tuning. Bypassed, re-engaged. Let's go back to this. Now let's check out reverb. Here we go. Sounds really nice. We got two screens for reverb, so we get some filter action. So you can kind of reintroduce some of the lower frequencies into the reverb if you want. punch it in. Really cool. Back to flow. Let's go back and add our bit crusher back in. It's a little heavy-handed, so let's tweak it. Add some sizzle at the top there. But now we can add a mod element to it. So we'll make this LFO work with that. So we'll adjust where that destination is here. We'll go to bits. We'll do bit filter. We got our depth. You can see the wave working here of the LFO. Let's try a different destination. There you go. Actual bit rate. Pretty crazy sounding. And an element that wasn't, there in the original. In fact, let's bypass. That's what it sounds like clean. Just a completely different world now. Say overall, I think the crispiness sounds too crispy. I'm just gonna filter, or actually not filter, EQ out some of the highs. I can filter though. Oh, it's turned off. It's bypassed. It's cool that the filter is caught in the delay. Makes sense. But it comes before that effect, which I believe is on the heat layer. We'll get into that some other time. Okay, cool. Let's add some warble. Oh wait, what did I do? I went into the bit rate. Wait, what happened? Warble, yes, okay. So let me get back out of this. We'll go back into bits. Gotta correct what I did there. Okay, cool. Back into flow, back into warble. Okay. So you hear that tape, wow, which is very cool. Really messed up tape. But I like it on just a real subtle amount just to give it a little bit of flavor. Okay, back to the flow. And we got a compressor that we've moved now to the end. I think it's juiced up a little bit, so I'm gonna turn it down a little. Yeah. We can go in the compressor. You can see the in, the gain reduction going negative this way, and then the out. And all your compression settings. Right here is threshold, attack, release, makeup, gain. Again, where you can do some fine tweaking, but really nice to have a compressor in here because it's just another piece of gluing the whole thing together. And I'm a big fan of that. So again, we'll bypass everything. That's where we were. And that's where we ended up. Can change up some of the heat setting here, so let's go to enhance. Mid drive. So I like what that's doing on the bass. And if I want to see what's going on with these, I can go into heat. Then you see dry wet here. 100% wet, 100% dry. So basically turning the heat layer off. And you can mitigate that volume jump by tweaking this level here so you can bypass and it has less of an impact, but I didn't bother to do that. You've got the drive amount. So again, we can go back into flow and we can start dropping these elements out. So we're tired of the bits. And effectively back to clean. No change. Let's let them back in just to end on a high note. And there we go. That is the Analog Heat Plus FX. Man, do I love this thing. It just took one of my favorite boxes of all time and made it better. Great job, Elektron. This isn't supposed to be a review, but I can't help but gush about it because I love this thing. It's my end of chain. It does everything I want it to do and now even more. And it just takes anything you connect it to up just a whole nother level. And the reason the Analog Heats have never made it on the channel before is because I've been too busy using them constantly and leaving them set up in my setup because it just makes everything sound better. So definitely come back. I'm going to do a more of an in-depth dive. I'm going to try more material, do some more interesting things with this, but hopefully that's a good starter, aka primer, and we'll get anyone interested in what this thing has to offer a little bit more of an understanding. Clearly, I'm a fan. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.